Okay, everybody, welcome back. It's a new week, and I'm making a push this week. Hopefully, this will be the final week. So I am going to work hard today. We might even get two streams in. I'm going to do this hand, and then for those of you looking at the right-hand corner, later today, I'm hopefully going to do this hand. I've mixed up a lot of fresh skin tones here. And so while those are mixed, I will try to hit a few different spots that need it. So let's begin with today's work. The giornata, the day's work. All right, very good. As you can see, I already have everything drawn out. The background's in, all those things are in place. And I'm going to begin working into, I think everything is dry here. So one thing I like to do, you've seen me do it before, just to give a little bit more viscosity to the painting, I'll take a little bit of this walnut oil gel and I'll rub it in some, knowing that I'm going to start working on this area. That will actually create just a slight amount of oil texture to help me. Also, let me see these colors on the outside here properly, because otherwise I might not see them right. Don't want to completely lose my lines here to help guide me. Don't want to lose my drawing entirely. And I want to add, well, see, that was still wet. There you go. That's what happens. You're not quite ready. Okay. But we've oiled out those parts there, and that will be a great starting point. And here we go. All right. Believe it or not, I've already been painting for a couple of hours. I finished another area this morning, and now I'm diving into this one here. So no matter where you are in the globe, it's morning here. All right, let's go. We're going to get going. Right here, I'm going to start just adding some of the skin tone in the light here. There's not a lot of shadow. If you watch other of my videos, notice that I normally work from light or dark to light. In this case, I'm not going to be so much concerned about that because there's not a lot of shadow. There's a few shadows here that are dark, but for the most part, the light is really striking the arm and into the hand, and just going to not be necessary. So if you're watching the stream and you have any questions, even if you're watching the stream at a later date and want to ask those questions, feel free to do so. I do get to them occasionally. Just ask others. Ask around. I answer questions. All right. So here I am just putting a few colors in. I like to drop in lots of shapes. So I've got my premixtures here that I went ahead, and what the thing I love about premixtures are, here's my colors. If I just pull directly from those and paint, bad idea. So much chroma. Chroma is color saturation. These are very saturated colors. You got to mix them down, especially in skin tones. But you can see I have a variety of different colors mixed. What that helps me do is to quickly grab and put it down. Because I like to work quickly. I feel like there's an honesty to that. And really, until things are filled in, I can't make final decisions on things. And so really, I have to kind of rush to get things done. You can see I will eventually have a little bluebird perched here at some point. Not today, but very soon. Maybe even tomorrow. Who knows? And so I'm going to start to work into those spaces in the coming days. Again, end of this week, goal to wrap the painting up. Tall order, but we'll see. I put in the hours, both late and early. Okay. You might have noticed just in these last few moments that really I'm doing this rounded brushwork here, even in here. Each of these marks, because we have this foreshortened hand coming forward. I'm going to make marks that follow the form. The more I follow this roundedness, the more this hand is going to come toward us. And we really need that to happen because if the hand doesn't come toward, it's going to look short. If you look, I mean, it's probably hard to see. I'm going to step back so you can take a look at this. Because the hand is slightly coming forward, it's actually going to look as though it's too short unless I really do a good job of following these contours and telling very carefully that this is coming toward us. All right, keep going. I wanted to get some redder colors here, a little more red and orangey colors in here. Hands are always so, they're redder in Caucasian skin tones, so you can just take that to the bank anytime you are doing hands. Just a lot of blood vessels in there. Those are really important for us to move, and so we've got all this all these blood and nerves and all these things that are coming down into our hands, and there's just and two, we're starting to get to the little the smaller bits of the body, and anytime that's going on, you're seeing through a lot more of it, and the result is always redder. Okay, moving around here, bouncing around quick. Oh, look at me, I wasn't even prepared here. Get a little bit of thinner. I want to do a bigger area. I don't use a lot of medium except when I know I'm gonna cover a larger area, and then I will actually get it out and get going. All right, I want that to be more red. Yeah, that layer of oil that I put down at the beginning, remember that's just a helper, and the paint is flowing just a little bit better because I started with some of that in place. I'm not really getting down to the small fingers yet. I want to work on these bigger planes of the hand. This is a little stranger. Normally, I'm working under. Got these beautiful north east facing windows over here, and the light is always so helpful. But in a case like today, it's been overcast for several days. I won't. I've got to have the fluorescence on above me, so very different light scenario. If you were to bounce back and look at some of the older videos of this same stream, I've been doing this chapel artwork in front of everybody for over the last month, and actually then some, because there's many parts of the process that aren't just painting, and yeah, it's lost my train of thought. As I started to make another move here. Yeah, so the light looks different. That was fine. You can see those differences. I don't like when that happens, right? Because consistency is a big helper in success when it comes to painting, if you can remain consistent on some of these things. From day to day, especially in a long-term project or long-term painting, you want to try to match the variables as best you can. Okay, still at it. Ooh, that was dark. I didn't want that to be that dark. So that's another thing that can happen. It's me all the time. I put down the wrong thing. Just do the wrong thing. Just means I got to go back in and make the correction. So there's a couple of things I can do. I put down this. It's not the best. What I will then do is I can drag it out, push it out. A couple of things happen. I'll show you. Then it just goes really wrong like that. You can take a little bit. You can even take like a Q-tip, and I can kind of just pull some of that out. It was just really just too dark, and I knew that if I work back into that, it's going to be a problem. All right. And now I have a paper towel. That's the thing I always forget. Grab a paper towel. I think I am going to bounce to, I want to get some of these darker skin tones down around the edge of the shadow. So I've got a few of these. And so like the top of the thumb here. I'd have to come back in and go back to some of my sources and see what's actually going on there. I can't tell because of the really bad Photoshop mashup I did. Now, I don't try to, when I make these mock-ups, I'm not ever trying to, make it perfect because a lot of those problems I'm going to need to solve in the oil painting anyway. So notice how my mark making is still following this pattern of floating around this circular motion. We're going to follow those lines all the way down to really give that the depth we need. Okay, that's coming together, all right. Yeah, these are the hands of St. Francis. We decided to include the stigmata. So we'll get to that too. I'll still keep that very understated when I put it in. So with a lot of things in painting, those are details that I think there is it's a hierarchy where we slowly discover and find those elements. When you paint, you can be really conscious of those things so that the eye kind of goes to where it needs to go first in the artwork, and then travel around and find new things, which is exciting. Definitely want that to be a detail that's found after a little bit of time with the artwork. Again, if you're just joining the stream, feel free to ask a question. There's not a wrong one. Just think of It's an incredible opportunity to ask away. You didn't even have to pay for a class and willing to offer up whatever information you're interested in learning. All right, it's exciting. Looking at the video quality, it's very yellow. I wonder if I could adjust that. I might try. It's very inaccurate as to kind of what I'm looking at. The video is very, very, very yellow. I suppose it's these fluorescent lights. I'll try to adjust it on the next one today. That's right, we're gonna do two. We're gonna do a second one. Two in one day? He must be crazy. You might notice that, if you're watching the whole video, you'll see me charge a brush, come in, make a mark, but oftentimes I will pause right before I lay it down because I need to check the drawing. And you're like, drawing and painting? Oh, yes, every mark is a drawing decision. Every time I lay down the brush, I'm made some sort of value judgment of like, okay, I think this starts here. I think the shadow begins here. I think, that is just ongoing and constant. So I will often pause right before, and you can just watch that happen every time. Look over, glance, drop that mark in over and over and over again. Now, one of the things I have to be careful with is that, I did, if you look up here, St. Francis's face, and, that was another day. Now I got to come down here and work on same person, and so I got to do a little bit of skin tone matching. And St. Francis was outdoors a lot, so gave him a little more, to use a common word now, like more of a tanned look, a little more bronzy. So just to make sure, even as I paint this, I'm kind of glancing up there periodically too, to make sure my color is remaining consistent. Believe me, it can look so different as to be distracting. And it's again one of the hazards of having to kind of work on this in stages. I'm just very careful. Where's my phone? Oh, there it is. All right. Yep, plenty of those. Got to keep my phone on in case someone needs in the building. So if I ever just walk away, I've gone to let somebody in. You have some, probably one of the deepest shadows underneath these couple of fingers, but that is about it. That's why I didn't really bother with getting a whole lot of the darks in just yet. painting is it's a full body practice. So, you'll just like every decision I make, grab some color, pause, look, carefully judge, right, where does because I can't look two places at once. Maybe you can, I can't. But I'll have to pause and then make sure I can watch like the head turn. Um, Everything's in sync, all the cameras. You can really watch what happens. This shadow here gets a little redder, and that's just reflection, right? So that light is reflecting off this finger and bouncing into the shadow of the pinky. Yeah. And then also the shadow line where it begins to drop in, uh, or kind of turn to the light. Capture that as well. And that's usually a little redder too because the light is sort of passing through those transparent, semi-transparent skin, like just the skin, which is amazing. Rob, good to see ya. Hey Rob, I checked my Instagram and I didn't find a message at all. In fact, I did look, so I'm not sure what happened there, but something's afoot. Looked through all like the hidden messages and things like that. So just a heads up, I'm not sure that I got it. Um, I promise when I see it, I will get the feedback to you. Okay. Again, the hands, faces, very complicated, right? Because you have many small little planes. It's there's a lot going on. So knowing that, we just take care and do our best to fill in all these little planes. And then, when I get to the end of this and everything's blocked in, and then I'll switch to like solving my problems, which there will be problems. It's just natural. I'm not a perfect painter, and so there'll be something that I need to address, fix. So right now, just chasing down all those little shapes. And honestly, in my mind, if you could like see the inner workings, you'd hear things like, okay, that shape here on the ring finger goes, like that. That's all the shape that's in the light. And then if we look at the pinky, since we're in that neighborhood, and the area in the light is very small. It's just this little bit here, and then the rest kind of turns into shadow. And so that's this sort of internal dialogue that's going on. Then since I have some of that more redder, I'll say, oh, it looks a little redder right there in the hand and right in this edge. And so I will just kind of bounce around, continuing to search for those. Yeah, I'm already seeing how much I think I'm going to have to tilt it just a little more yellow ochre, a little more, as I compare to most of that to yeah, that skin tones in the head. So there'll be lots of shifts that need to happen as I do so to make everything match. So I'm gonna just add a little more yellowing. This is just I'm kind of I'm taking yellow ochre and I'm just softly just kind of buffing it across the top here. Um, so in order to achieve that, I'm adding a little yellow ochre, a little burnt sienna, just to shift the skin tones a bit more in that direction. Oh man, yeah, they are the worst, Rob. in, in the in the best way. Yep, hands are the worst. I don't like, every time, and this is probably why I still paint. It's like a level of excitement of like, okay, gonna gonna do the hands today, and I know that while other parts of the painting I could fill in very quickly, um, hands, feet, faces, those are an hours long pursuit. Oh, but the block in is going okay right now. I probably need to have a video where I start from the block in and do the refinement because usually I do it the other way around. It's a little more interesting, and so that's a good idea. I think probably people would rather see that. Just like to see some of that. Um, but only that would be for those who are like really, really into it. Because otherwise, it is those small adjustments and fixes over time. Uh, you can be watching the video and feel like almost nothing has happened. Which is why I don't do it too often. Right? So at this point, when I've got most of the like major, kind of dropped in a few little shapes here and there. This is the point that I um, can now be a little more, just take it all a lot slower at this point. Okay. Kind of feeling like a little small, but maybe not. Maybe so. Yeah, and step back, look at the hole. Yeah, I think the hand needs to just get a little bigger. So when I do things like that, it is as simple as it sounds. When it comes to just doing a slight enlargement, to and I have a tendency to do this anyway. Is I will I like to exaggerate the hands just a little bit in scale. I think I want them to have weight. So in a case like this, I'm going to kind of do exactly what you think I'm going to do, which is I'll extend the sides out. We'll just get a little more width here, and small increments. You can't do this too much, but I know it just needs a little more. So I'm going to come out here about the width of this brush. And I think that is helping. And I'll do the same on the other side too. Well, and I just noticed, like, so I can do things like extend the thumb out a little bit. And these, we're talking about maybe an eighth of an inch or something like that. But it does it just creates a little bit more volume. And kind of extend things out. Also, the area in the light here, I'll just make sure that it is a little farther extended. Sometimes shadow areas. All right, I'm going to back up and see if that width helps a little bit. Yeah, I think it does. And then fingers too. Fingers a little challenging because I still have to, I can't get too far gone on like the knuckles, right? But I can extend just a little more to the length of the fingers. Yeah, that'll require some slight knuckle adjustment, but it's okay. So these are, adding about a brush width length to everything. You might ask, how didn't you notice this before? I didn't. It's kind of those things that when you notice. So I can create a little bit of the back of the hand being in the shadow there. Get some of my. A lot of this is just redrawing. I'm deciding, okay, I need that drawing to look bigger, and so making just a few of those decisions. you know, it's different. Like, so for instance, if I am, when I'm building these compositions on my computer, I'm trying to catch all of these that I can, right? But I still don't, and really until it's there in the moment, I will miss it. Um, being flexible, um, taking time with, uh, like drawing from life. So finding a local life drawing class that you can attend, just getting familiarizing yourself with, the structures. And again, so I'm extending out everything by about a brush width. So this hand here, just using this little small brush to help me. Yeah. Still looks a little small overall. So I'm gonna, nudge everything else more. Let's see. Here's my trick right here. It's mirror is what I will look at when I'm in doubt. So if I'm ever like just feel right, I just step back, look in the mirror, and yeah, I just think bigger. Shocking, but let's go a little more. So there again, we're going to do exactly what we did before. And extending everything out. So a little more hand here. And don't worry, we'll get in there and we'll fix all of this. But it's going to get nice and muddy as we keep painting on top of it. Again, it's okay, it's all fixable, but it's going to get kind of cartoony here. Get to something that I missed. This is good. I can't imagine a better kind of live stream than like a fix it live stream. How do you fix it when the drawing's wrong? What do you do? Just keep making adjustments. And for me, I can add more to the outside over and over and over again. I think I've got to get a door, so I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Hey, fix my painting while I'm gone, okay? Put a thing in the door. Okay, I'm back. Let's see. All right, sitting back. Yes, now that is looking a little better. So what I'll have to do is I also have to shift as I kind of kept moving things out here. So I need to shift this out some too. And I think that gives the size that I need. All right. I feel better about that now. Which is crazy to me because, you know, I kept making those adjustments, thinking, you know, oh, this is fine, but it's not. A little more to all the fingers, I think, too. Drawing with paint at this point. Yeah, this is probably a good time to say, you know, yeah, if you can tell that it's wrong, right? If you can say, something's not right here, then, you know, make the change. And nothing's very shapely yet, but now that size is matching a little bit better. All right, so we've got to get in these like little shadow lines back here. I can further continue. There we go. And of course, this is a kind of a funky shape right now. So we'll adjust that too. Add a little bit to this guy. Shave off that side. So yeah, so this is a corrective process here. Sure, it's nice when you don't have to do this, but sometimes that's what happens. All right, so this length is now, because I've lengthened out that finger, you know, significantly, I've got to just change some of the knuckle length. This needs to come down a little more. And then well, thanks, Rob. I appreciate it. Thanks for the vote of confidence. Well, we'll get there. It'll be better. And okay, awesome. Thank you, Rob. I'm gonna find you, and I'll shoot you a message. Okay. So now, you know, so adjusting all the widths here and kind of moving some fingers around so I can, you know, I can see that, oh, now I've lost my, this knuckle comes down to about right here. And then, okay, well, we've got a lot of wet paint on here anyway. Counts for something. And I think that very much will probably mean I need to adjust the size on the other hand too. Maybe I won't stream that. Okay. So here's kind of the point where things are more or less in place again. I know I said that before, but I stepped back and I didn't really like it. Just imagine had I not stepped back, right? That would have been oh, and never known. This had been one of those kind of positions that sort of locked me in for the stream, as I sometimes have. That would have been bad. I rendered out the hand, then didn't kind of see some of the problems that were happening in it. Okay, so because I made all those changes, and because they were all nudges in different directions, I've really got to pause and take a closer look just about everything. So a thing I feel like I noticed right away is, if I made everything a little bigger, I've got to extend this sum. And then, I adjusted this sum already, but add up a little bit. So what I'm doing now is my eye is kind of roving over the whole thing and essentially doing what I would do if I were drawing or painting from life. I'm just comparing distances, doing what's called comparative measurement. And I'm checking to see, like, for instance, how far does like the thumb go down as compared to um, like how far how far if I drop an imaginary line straight down, where do some of these other things line up in an effort to really try to get things correct. And so I'm just asking myself that, saying, okay, this overall kind of curvature of the fingers, um, what may need to change on it, and I feel like I changed this a little bit, but it might need to go just a tad more. I need to re-describe where that kind of point is. It's being here. And so now I'm going to chase down a few other things because I'm like, okay, I think it's close, but I'm not sure. think no, that looks okay. But yeah, I'm just asking myself about everywhere are things okay? This just doesn't quite feel right yet. Add a little more. Just a little bit more index finger pad there. All right, let's see if in the next hour we can get this just in a little better state. So now I'm using some smaller brushes. Um, all the fun's kind of out of the window now, and there's a lot of buckling down to solve the problem. Brain surgeon. Maybe Rob. I've often joked, you know, and we'll have conversations with clients or possible commissions. You know, people will often ask, "Well, how long does it take you to do this?" And I'm like, "Well, it takes a lot shorter than you'd think." And they're like, "How? Or why is the price so high?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm kind of like a doctor, but for painting." And there's if if you've trained from the live model for a long time, you realize you can capture a lot of necessary information very quickly. The refinement does take time, and it just doesn't matter at all when you have a painting this size. You're looking at months of work. But some of the smaller still lives can happen very quickly, in a day or less. And I don't know, it doesn't compute with people's minds. And so you get a lot of arguments as to how much that shouldn't be that much if you only worked this long on it. And I'm like, I disagree. There's 25 plus years of painting experience behind it. That's really where the value lies. And then realizing too, it's like, unlike a lot of things, once a painting is purchased, that's it, right? It doesn't continue to pay your bills. It is like, that's the one time. So there's certainly something there in the value, as well as it being absolutely one of a kind, right? And nothing else like it. And I've actually given of my very life in order to create it. So, I mean, that's another thing to think about. It's like, what would you actually give your life for? A trade-off. So this, because of all these changes, has devolved into going to probably be a little tighter. So what I'll lose. So here's what I've lost. Here's one of the things that happens when you have to make a lot of changes. And so I'm going to lose a lot of that initial kind of color shape build that I like to do so much. And because of the corrections, then I end up having to do quite a bit more brushwork. So, a lot of the smaller brushes come out. I never get as excited when that happens because, bigger brushes are kind of the thing that I really enjoy. Um, but, uh, you know, it's how it goes sometimes. All right, I'm going to go ahead and kind of hint at some of the, because I think it'll actually help. Little hint at the bird claw here, foot and claw resting. Just begin. It might solve problems later. I'll do a video just of the kind of like I did of the dove of the bluebird here too. So that's got to come this week, everybody, because I'm endeavoring this week to get done. I came in. I was here at. I think I arrived just a little bit before 7 a.m. So let it be known. I think that's the other difference. If we are being honest about things, it's like, well, those who are willing to kind of come in at all hours, it's their professional business. So. All right. Rob, you're being very kind. Thanks for all the good words. Yeah. It's oh, the all of this. I don't know. I forget what this. I don't know the exact word. I don't know what it's called. The whole triangle of like time, quality, and price. And we've all heard it before. It's very true. You get to pick two, as they say. I'm certain there's a name for that thing, and I have no idea what it is. Because, man, professionals can do things very well, very quickly, right? And then you usually pay for that professionalism. I'm not much of a DIYer, do-it-yourselfer, because I love to see a professional doing what they do. It's worth it every time. So I can show you some of my terrible DIY stuff I've done at home. I don't do that anymore. People are too good at what they do. Yeah, this is starting. This portion here is looking okay. Maybe I'll move into the thumb here and spend a little more effort immediately on the thumb. And sort of hidden. I really wish I had another one of my references up that didn't cover up the anatomy there behind this image. I won't have it, so we're going to make do. Okay, I'm looking at the shadow side here. And the light, so these are all small shape adjustments. Notice the light is just coming up a little more than what I have here. Uh, I mean, small adjustments. It just the thing about oil painting that just shocks me repeatedly is like how I'll make a subtle shift, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wow, that small shape just helped with the drawing of the thumb, kind of curved out, coming out at us. And then there's a shadow on the underside here. I can't even paint walls, says Rob. Yeah, I'm not great at that either. Even rollers. Although I do pride myself a little bit in uh, never using painter's tape, right? So uh, that would be the only little thing I would take some level of pride in. But yeah, you don't want to put me, you don't want me you don't want me doing that. It's okay. Everyone, Francisco's in the studio today. I'm just acknowledging it so he doesn't have to feel like he can't like make a single noise or anything. So that's fine. It's fine. Yeah, see, so let it be known, everyone. Move to Wichita, Kansas. Just come into the studio and hang out. It's a gem of a place. All right, when I get into like the thumb here, I mean you're seeing it in a state that is pretty rough. But um, I'm constantly asking myself, like, because I had to change some of the drawing and make it just a little larger, what am I doing here? And I can see like I've missed another drawing correction. It's not generally a great idea to change the overall scale of the hand like that. But this needs to come out a little bit. It's to really be accentuated there. And okay. All right. Let's see. Yeah, if you just joined the stream and just look down, there's quite a few new folks here. Please ask a question. Don't make Rob ask the only questions. All right, I need to make a few. Oh, geez, you ask everyone to ask questions and then they just all leave. Don't talk to anyone in the stream. That's the rule. Okay. And a little bit more there. All right, now what I really need to do is this is not looking good here. What's up, Rodney? Good to see you. What's for lunch? I packed my lunch this morning, and I'm not quite to the level of a real professional painter who can like go out and maybe go out to eat every day and have business lunches and things like that. I still pack a sack lunch, everybody. So hummus, chicken, and some vegetables. So hummus chicken sandwich, cheese on there, and then some mixed vegetables, carrots, fresh carrots, celery, and peppers, bell peppers, yellow, orange, red. So that's and yogurt. That's on the lunch menu. Because I'm staying all the way through to dinner, then I have the Poppers dinner peanut butter and jelly sandwich.